Wrapping up the video with the Scar. In my opinion,
you can even say that, you know, with what they...
All you gotta do is push it forward.
What's up, guys? Connor with Guns and Stuff, and today I'm gonna try to do kind of a versus video. I have my Eotech model XPS 2-2, and I've got my Aimpoint Micro T1 here. And what I want to do is pretty much just make a video kind of giving the pros and cons of each, things I like, things I don't like about each, kind of put them up head to head and see which one comes out on top, show you some groups, and pretty much just give you what I think about it. And there goes my rifle, and hopefully that'll help you guys pick if you're deciding, you know, whether you want an Aimpoint or Eotech. Alright, so I've got the Eotech and the Aimpoint here. This is the, like I said, XPS 2-2 Micro T1, so this is not the latest and greatest from Aimpoint. They do have a T2 out, which is a little different. A couple things right off the bat that I notice is, first off, the Aimpoint is a lot smaller and it's a lot lighter than the Eotech. You see from up top there, as a top view, front view here, kind of, yeah, there we go. Eotech weighs in at about 9.5 ounces, whereas this Aimpoint, according to their website, just the optic weighs about 3 ounces. This is an LRP mount here, quick detach with a 39mm spacer. All this together weighs a little over 6 ounces. So Eotech with the mount, everything, you're good to go. 9 versus close to 6. The Aimpoint has 12 brightness settings. The first 4 are night vision, and then the second 8 are all daytime settings. The Eotech here has 20 settings. This Eotech here, let me see if I can get that reticle in there. As you can see, I'll get better pictures of that. Yeah, there's a 68-minute ring in there with 2 dots in the middle. Each dot is 1 MOA, so if you're shooting at 100 yards, that middle dot is gonna cover up 1 inch, 200 yards, 2 inches, 300 yards, 3 inches, so on. And what that's good for is it's a really fine, precise dot, so at longer ranges you might be a little more precise, whereas the Aimpoint here, yeah, there's that dot. That's a 2 MOA dot. So this dot is a little bigger than the Eotech. So if you want to get a little more precise, the 1 MOA dot might be a little bit better for you. The Eotech here, you've got your adjustments here. It's 1/2 MOA, so there's up and down. This takes it's called a 123 battery. It's about a 600-hour battery life. The one big advantage that the Aimpoints have over the Eotechs is batteries last up to 5 years on setting 8. So you can just leave your optic on in your safe or whatever, and it'll always be on. Whereas the Eotech, I know I've changed this battery like at least 4 times. And this Aimpoint here doesn't really have any buttons. It just has like a knob, but that's that. So for me, I think I definitely like the knob better than the buttons, especially with this Eotech. To push those buttons, you gotta like really push them. It's not like a light push. It doesn't do anything. So you really gotta push it in there, which that's just a minor gripe. That's just me. So these are both aluminum housings. The Eotech has a protective aluminum housing over the actual optic itself, so that might help a little bit over if you're dropping it, or if you drop your rifle or something. And this is just an aluminum housing, which that's fine. These things are really durable. Not saying these aren't. So the Aimpoint, you've got your elevation, windage, and what's kind of cool about the Aimpoint here is that when you take these caps off, the cap is the actual tool you need to, as you can see there, it'll fit right in. That's the tool you need to adjust that optic, to adjust the reticle. And it also has up and down and right, so you know what's what, so you're not just guessing. The Eotech definitely has a bigger piece of glass there versus this Aimpoint. So if you're trying to be really quick, I would say the Eotech has the advantage there with the bigger piece of glass. It might be a little faster to pick up if you're really trying to do that. Another thing with the Aimpoint, I think they sell them with the mounts, but if you just buy the optic, it doesn't come with a mount, so you have to get your own mount and your own spacer, stuff like that. Whereas the Eotech, the mount is a part of the optic, so that's kind of cool. Both of these optics are submersible up. This one is submersible up to 80 feet. The Eotech is only submersible up to 10 feet, so if you're going to be like diving with your rifle, which whatever, I've seen a guy on YouTube do it with an ACOG, it was pretty sweet. But this one will handle that a little bit better if you're into that. So another thing to think about is the price. If you're working with a certain budget, one of these might be better than the other. the Eotechs, I've seen them on Amazon and Optics Planet for starting around 410, and that's the model with the AA batteries. I think it's a 512. So 410, and these can go anywhere up to like 630 depending on the model. That's without a magnifier. Both of these can use a magnifier. I'm not really a fan of those. The Aimpoints start at anywhere from $375, and they can go all the way up to about almost $900 for one of these. So you can definitely get a nice Aimpoint for around $400 to $500 for sure. Now, the first thing I noticed with the Aimpoint while taking these shots is first how small it is, how light it is, and that single red dot in the optic. That single red dot is really easy to pick up. It's really fast to pick up. So in a close quarter type deal, I can definitely see how the Aimpoint would take the cake, like I said earlier. But switching to my Eotech, the first thing I noticed before I even take a shot is that bigger piece of glass, that bigger viewfinder, I guess you can call it. I mean, it's a very big difference, and I definitely prefer that bigger piece of glass over the smaller one of the Aimpoint. But with all that stuff in that reticle, with that ring and the two dots, it does take a second to kind of pick up which dot you want to use and pick up, you know, how to be very fast with it. Could take some practice, but that's just a couple things I noticed while I'm shooting them in these 2-round bursts like this. All right, so what I'm gonna do, move up to the hill about 100 yards. I'm gonna put 5 or 10 shots with each one of these optics at 100 yards. My host rifle is my Colt 6920, and pretty much just show you the differences in groups. And remember, this Eotech has that 1 MOA dot, so the dot's finer, whereas the Aimpoint, some of them have a 4 MOA dot, this one only has a 2. So let's go up to the hill and get some groups. All right, so this is my first 5-shot group at 100 yards. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little crazy. I'm gonna go up again and try 5 more shots. See what the results are. So it is hitting a little low. I was holding here, and I was hitting kind of all over. So let's go try it one more time. All right, let's see if that was any better. All right, so that second group was a little bit better with the Eotech. It was those 3 shots right here, plus those 2 right there. So that 5 is definitely a lot better than that first 5. So, so yeah, that's a 10-shot group. I'm gonna go back up to the hill with the Aimpoint and see what the group is on that. So that first group with the Aimpoint up at 100 yards was fairly awful. Pretty much, oh, that's good. So pretty much it was those 5 shots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously that's a little more open than I'd like it to be. So I'm gonna go up, take 5 more shots, maybe try to be a little more patient, and try to tighten that up a little bit for you. After a little bit of adjusting, there's my 5-shot group at 100 yards with the Aimpoint. This was my first 5-shot group. So 5 plus that one. So, I mean, the reason it moved is obviously because I adjusted the optic. But yeah, there's the Aimpoint. So minus those, that was a different group. So let me zoom out. So that group, which obviously I adjusted. Eotech I didn't touch at all. This is the Eotech. 10 shots. So I'll come back out and ignore that top, ignore that group. So Aimpoint, Eotech. Okay, so those 100-shot groups, my personal opinion, by the looks of those groups, I would definitely have to give that to the Eotech, because I just think the groups are a little bit tighter when I was shooting with this, and that 1 MOA dot is a little more fine than that 2 MOA dot in that Aimpoint, so that could be it. Not very good shooting on my part, but just to give you guys an idea. So when talking about speed with these optics and reticles, this is my personal opinion. This is what I think. There's 100 different ways you could dissect it. With the Aimpoint, all you have is one red dot, and it might be a little bit bigger than the red dot in this, but remember, this Eotech has a ring and a red dot, and some models have multiple dots. How I look at it is if you're trying to be quick in a close quarter battle type situation within 25 yards, I would probably give speed up to the Aimpoint. I would pick that one because the way I look at it is you just have one dot to focus on. So bring it up, you've got that one dot. With this Eotech, you might kind of confuse yourself. If you're coming up, you might say, okay, which dot do I need to use, or which ring do I need to use? Again, that's just me. I'm sure there's 100,000 other people that look at it differently. So yeah, that's just me. So for speed, for getting it up quick, I would definitely say that one single dot on the Aimpoint would take it. So in the end, it all comes down to personal preference with these. I hope this video helped a little bit. The Eotechs might be a little more affordable. They start at around 400 bucks. Some Aimpoints, the bigger ones that are a little bit heavier, start at around 350. So if you want one of the smaller ones or the newer ones, you're going to pay a little bit more for it. I've had this optic a while, and I just got this one. I've been running this one a lot to get used to it. So thanks for watching the Eotech Aimpoint video. My camera's died when I was out there, so I got to finish it at my house here. No problem. It all comes down to personal preference. They're both really great optics. If you have any experience with any of them, comment. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for checking out my channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.